Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jay Liwanag, and I'm a career services advisor here at the Costello College of Business. I worked in consulting for many years in the past, and I hired many students like yourselves looking for different opportunities that are out there. Today's session is going to be on job and internship search strategies, and hopefully you'll get a lot out of it. I will be sending a copy of this presentation to all of you, so no worries in having to, take screenshots or too many notes. And hopefully you can stay engaged today, and feel free to stop us at any time when you have questions. As I said, Megan Farina is going to be our guest. She's running at another meeting right now for Deloitte, but she will be joining us. And once she joins us, I'll pause a little bit to introduce her for those of you who have not met her before. Let me just a bit more folks here. Again, my name is Jay Liwanag. Today's session is on job and internship search strategies. First off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share with you two opportunities that Deloitte has in the chat. So if you look at the chat, let me just copy this real quick. And I'm going to go into the chat. Let me go here. So in the chat, I just put an opportunity for an audit and assurance analyst business process controls advisory that they're having in the summer and fall of 2026, as well as winter 2027. Sangeeta, you will not get the recording, but you will get the presentation. We'll put the recording up at a later date. Now, in terms of, let's see, here's another opportunity from Deloitte. We definitely wanted to share these because we received this from the recruiter today. I'm going to post it again. It's the Deloitte Compass Conference. There we go. So I would grab those two opportunities if I were you, especially if you're interested in Deloitte. It's always good to network with them, and a great opportunity to meet folks from their organization and to learn a lot more. Let me just a bit more people. There's a lot of people joining here. Okay. Let's go here. All right, just so to start. So again, today we're here for the job and internship strategies workshop. And Megan Farina from Deloitte will be joining us hopefully shortly. But to begin with, in the job search strategies, you are hopefully here today because you're looking for either an internship or a full-time opportunity that's out there. One thing that you want to make sure is that you're registered, if you're not already registered, on Handshake, and that you also, let me just let someone else in here real quick. And also make sure that you're registered on Handshake and that you are on LinkedIn if you are not already on LinkedIn. You definitely want to be reviewing your resume, your cover letters, and other application documents that are out there. And then we'll talk a little bit applying for internships in different jobs, and then talking to faculty to express your interests. Hold on, let me just let more people in here real quick. Okay. And again, feel free to stop me at any time if you have any questions. There are seasons for the jobs and internship postings. For those of you that are accounting concentration, they are looking for folks anywhere from a year to 1.5 years in advance. So you really want to start early as you're looking for those opportunities. In the other concentrations, usually you will see things in early June to August as well for the fall, and then early September and December for the spring, and then early November to February for the summer. To give an example, when I was an employer and I was hiring students like yourselves, we would post our summer internship by like September timeframe. And then what would happen is we would do the interviews in the December timeframe, make our decisions in the January timeframe, and you would already know by that time if you had the internship with our organization. Every organization is different, but these are some pretty solid timelines for most of the opportunities. Let's go here. So with the internship job tools, there's a lot of different job tools that are out there. The biggest ones, and we're going to go over them today, is a little bit is a handshake, as well as LinkedIn. But there's also the business buzz blog, career shift. For anyone who's an international student, there is Interstride. And for those interested in the federal government, it's usajobs.gov. So I'm going to shift a little bit as we go, and I'm actually going to show you more of Handshake. So this is a little bit of a thing that tells you about registering for it, but I'm actually going to go into Handshake right now, and I'm going to actually show you it. For those of you who are already on it, this might be secondhand, but those of you who aren't, this is something that you should definitely get onto and you should definitely create. So this is just an example of a student and his site. He's got his profile picture, which is great. It tells a little bit of information about him. He probably could put a little bit more information here on the about side, but he has a lot of his work experience similar to what you would put on LinkedIn, as well as what you would put on your actual resume. And I would encourage you to fill this portion out. The reason why I say that is, as an employer, when I used to be a premium member of Handshake, when I would come to universities like George Mason or my alma mater, the University of Maryland, I would call the Career Services office and I'd ask them for an opportunity to have access to the students and to be able to look at their profiles. And I would find individuals like in this example, Siho, and I would be able to see what his experience was, some of the skills that he had, and if he was a good fit for my opportunity. What's really good about Handshake, let me go over here and show you, is when you click on your name, once you log on and once you create your profile and everything, and you click on the little circle at the upper right-hand corner, and you come down here and you see profile, job, so you can look at a lot of different things. One of the things that you really want to look at is look at career interests. And when you go on career interest, it takes you to a page that looks like this. You want to really select what you're looking for. In this case, Siho is looking for a full-time job. He's also looking for an internship. What options are you considering after graduation? He wants to work. And then with Handshake, he wants to help with finding a job, an internship, and he also selected, I want to find out about career center events, fairs, and so forth. So you can do a lot of number of things, but especially if you want an internship, this is definitely a site that you want to go to. And then what he did as well afterwards, and there's so many different jobs on here, you want to type the jobs that you're interested in. And as you can see, he has a number of different things he's interested, specifically in, as a business analyst or a management consulting intern. And then where are you interested in living? So for him, it's mostly here locally in the Washington, D.C. metro area and Northern Virginia. So that's very important because it will allocate the type of jobs that you're looking for and the locations. Then you have industries here. He has not selected any industries, which is good. The reason why I say that is you don't want to pigeonhole yourself, whether you want to be an accountant, a marketing person, finance, management, whatever it may be. Every single industry requires those business skills and those experiences. So if you leave it blank, it's better because you'll find more opportunities. Unless the only reason you would select something in here is if you are really wedded to the fact of wanting to work in healthcare, for example, or a specific industry, then by all means, check off here. But you don't want to limit yourself. You don't want to hold back on that, and you want that opportunity in other areas. But this is where it's important, what kind of jobs or functions that you're interested in. So in this case, he's interested in business development, consulting, data and analytics, finance, and information technology. So you can have one, click on one, you can click on many. The more that you're focused, the better, because it will show you those specific opportunities. So once he's done with that, he saves it all. So everything's saved. He can always come back here and make changes. And then you would go to your jobs over here. And then when you're in your jobs, it shows you a bunch of jobs. As you can see, there's 10,000 jobs because he hasn't filtered it yet. So if he wanted to filter it and say you're looking for an internship, he just goes in here, clicks on internship, and and it's working. And from there, it narrows it down to almost 4,000 jobs. So that's still a lot of jobs. So it's a little bit overwhelming and a little bit too much. So what I can do is I am just interested in being a business analyst. So let me even put intern. So as I clicked on that, in my search, it gave me 719 jobs. There's one here for Dayforce. That's a summer intern. Tells me when I need to apply by, which is May 7th, 2026. Gives me the summary of the job, how much it pays, where it's located, when it will be, May 4th to August 31st, if U.S. authorization to work is required, or if they're open to OPT, CPT candidates. Then it gives me a little bit of the description of what they need and what they want. And this is where you would want to tailor your resume based on these skills and these opportunities of what they need. So this is a great way to find things. If I want to filter even further, so say I want more specifics, I go to the filter and I want an internship. I only want it to be in the Washington, D.C. metro area within, say, for example, 20 miles. I want it to be paid, so I don't want to see anything that doesn't pay. And then I can go on to apply. And as I find that, it's narrowed it down to 409 jobs. So if I was, and as you can see with this example of CGI, as a business analyst intern, again, I have to apply by April 27th. You will either see it say apply externally, as you can see over here. And when it says apply externally, what that means is it's going to take you to the CGI website and you're going to apply via CGI. Sometimes you'll see just the word apply. And when it is the word apply, oftentimes that is just directly applying through the Handshake platform because the employers, again, that's the way that they want you to apply to it. Are there any questions with that so far? You can put in the chat or you can put yourself off of mute. But it's a really powerful tool, and I encourage you to use it often because this is constantly changing with a lot of different jobs. And just like I posted the 2 Deloitte opportunities, those were just given to us today. And so what else is good about Handshake is I can go to all the different events that are out there. Here are some of the different events that are happening. So this is the one that you're attending right now, the Deloitte Job Search Strategies. But you can look through here, and if I say, for example, I was interested in working at Hilton, they're doing a Networking 101 workshop on Friday, April 17th. This is something, if I clicked on here, it would save it to my profile, and I could save it, and I can follow up back, and I can register to attend that event. So these are all different things that you can look at, and you can find different opportunities. Another good thing on Handshake is you actually go down and look for both people, but also employers. And when I look at the employers, say, for instance, I'm interested in Johnson & Johnson. I can go in and look at Johnson & Johnson, gives me an overview of who they are, shows me any jobs that they might have. Right now, they don't have any, but they usually do. And then shows me things that they post. But also in the overview, what's really nice about this sometimes is, as I keep on going down, it has people that are tied to their organization. So this person here is a digital attraction lead. And so I can actually go and check out Gabby's background, and I can also follow her if I want to via Handshake. It has the different events that whenever they do have events, and also their gallery. So you can look at most employers that are here on Handshake. You can take a look at it and you can get a better feel for who those individuals are. Are there any questions on that? Okay. So now I'm going to go back I'm going to get out of this one. I'm going to go back to the presentation. And so this is what I was going over in terms of Handshake. You can use a bunch of different filters, attend events, and contact different recruiters. These are the filters that I had showed you a little bit earlier. Again, you'll have this presentation so you can follow along with this. These are just an example that I showed you also already, how you can find the company, recruiters, different staff, other students, and so forth. This is just telling you a little bit of the when you go to the organization, just as I showed you with Johnson and Johnson, and how you might be able to reach out to different people there. And then sometimes some organizations, they will have students from George Mason who had worked there. And if they do, you'll be able to see it similar to this on Handshake, where it's a nice way for you can message the individual. You might even know them from being in school with them, where you can contact them and get more information about the company. I showed you the events on Handshake. This is actually something I would encourage you to look at every week because, again, it's constantly changing. There's new employers that come up, new events that come up, and so forth. And even if you see an event on Handshake, say, for instance, you are just like Deloitte, for example. Say you're interested in Deloitte, but maybe it's an event that's solely focused on tax or whatever it might be, and you're not interested in tax, but you're more interested in management consulting. I would still attend the event. The reason why I say that, it's always good to put a name and a face with an employer during your job search because he or she, so for instance, when Megan joins us, Megan has a lot of connections, obviously, internally within the organization, and she can hopefully help navigate you into the right place if you are attending and if you're a professional and you show her your interest and your skills. She could hopefully help navigate you to the right person within the organization to speak to. Let me go. Who's next? So here's a question about networking. So in the chat, or you unmute yourself if you want to, what percentage of jobs are found through networking? Are there any guesses? Can you put through on the chat, please? What are some of your thoughts on it? 75, 75, 70, 95 for Miriam, 80%, 70, yep, 80. So there's a lot of 70s, 80s, so 60 from Eva, 85, 80, 65. Okay, good. So it's anywhere from, look, everyone so far, anywhere from 60s all the way up to 90 something. So there's a vast range. So let's see what it says. 85% of the jobs are found through networking. You'll hear us say at the career office, and even when I was an employer and when I was a principal at PricewaterhouseCoopers, I was constantly telling students, you got to network. You have to meet the professionals that are out there, and you have to learn more about what they do and find out more of why. Why do you want to do what they do in the future, and what skills are required to be successful in those type of organizations? And what they call this 85% of jobs that are found through the networking, they call this the hidden job market. I myself personally, besides my first job out of college, I found pretty much the majority of my jobs through networking. It's been the best way to find opportunities and the best way to make connections. So if you're not already doing it, I would encourage you to. If you're struggling with it, or say you're an introvert, because I am an introvert myself as well. So it took me a long time to learn how to properly network and what to do. Come to our office. We are happy to help you with that. I am happy to help you with that. And it's something that I really, really believe is very, very important for your success in terms of your job search. Our office is located, Samantha, it's located in Enterprise Hall at the bottom floor here on the Fairfax campus. We also do virtual appointments too. So if you can't make it to the office, we can do a virtual appointment with you as well. So as I mentioned, it's the hidden job market. Opportunities are found through the networking. It's a big return on investment. You know, most of it's free. Like there's no one, rarely will someone charge you to network. Obviously, if you go to conferences or if you go to different events that charge, you can network in those. But it's definitely worth it. It's a low cost. It's a high impact result. Here is a statistic as well. Increases your odds from 1% to 80% for opportunities in offering your services. I've seen people that have come. I've actually been in dinners where I've sat down in a dinner and I was waited on a table by a young, I think it was a young lady at the time. She was really, really sharp. She was in school at the time. And we just started striking a conversation. She told me she was interested in management consulting. She carried herself very well. She was attending a very good school. And I said, hey, why don't you give us a call? Come on and visit us at any time, whenever you have time. And we can try to put you into the schedule and we'll introduce you to more people. She was just waiting the table. She was serving me very well and she was providing really, really good service. And I saw that she had a good communication style. And we just had that conversation. And from that one small conversation, she was able to come to our office and meet a lot of different people. So again, here's the thing. If someone introduces you and or attends an introducing meeting or call, the chances, again, of closing that deal is much greater. Of getting the job is more 80%. And then if you don't do that, it's usually just the 1%. That's from the Sandler Sales Institute. But that's something just to keep in mind. So if you are struggling with your resume, so this is another thing in the job search. Even if you're not struggling with your resume is a very important tool because it gets you in the door. And with that resume, you want to tailor each resume, as you may have already heard, to the job requirements that are out there. It's very, very important for that. And so these are some of the different workshops that we have. Some of them have already passed, but we still have a couple more. Feel free to use the QR code. You'll get this presentation to register for those workshops. This is another tool that's really good, and you'll have a link to it when you get this presentation. It's the Business Buzz blog. So I would encourage you to go to the webpage and bookmark it. I'm checking out the different events that we have here at Career Services. It looks something like, let me actually go to it now. Let me bring this back here. It looks something like this. So it's just a bunch of different resources. It's the blogs. It tells you about some different events that we have. And so I would encourage you to go onto there and sign up and look at the different opportunities and different programs from there. But it's a really good tool. It's free, and it oftentimes posts different jobs, internships, and the employer events that we have that are constantly coming to us. And as I mentioned in the chat, the 2 new Deloitte opportunities that were just given to us just the other day. Career Shift is another good tool. This is, again, a free tool for you all. All you need is your GMU email address. If you are an alumni on this call and you don't have that address anymore or you don't use it anymore, you can use this site here to get to the Career Shift. And it's a good dashboard that gives you more information. It's a database which has some tools for job hunters on how to look for different opportunities. It's always good to have multiple avenues to look at different things. So this is another tool that's, again, free for you all. I will send this presentation to you so you will have the link and you can easily get onto it. Get to the next page here. So now LinkedIn. I had mentioned LinkedIn earlier. And with LinkedIn, this is some sample verbiage of different things of what you can use to outreach to people. We have over like 17,000 alumni on our Costello College LinkedIn page. And this is some prompts that people have used in the past to make introductions. And more than likely, it's not always going to happen. But when you talk to an alumni or when you reach out to someone who has a George Mason tie, they're going to want to help you. And the key to this reach out is I'm not going to approach you when I'm doing this and say, oh, hi. So I'm trying to look who's on the call here. So I'm not going to say, hi, Camilla. I am a student at George Mason and I am looking for a job and I want a job at your company. If I do that, I'm very limiting myself. And what Camilla might say to me is like, okay, great. Please send me your resume and I'll see if I can help you. That really does nothing for me because I don't learn more about her company, what it takes to succeed in her company, versus if I ask her for a 15-minute conversation, whether it be a coffee chat or on Zoom, and I approach it from a standpoint and say, hi, Camilla, I want to learn more about your career. I'm very impressed by your LinkedIn profile on how you have become finance manager or whatever her position might be. I've been reading up on your company, and I really love the values of the organization. And so you're approaching her from a standpoint of being curious, wanting more information, and learning about the organization. So these are just some potential prompts that you can use. You can also use AI to generate other introductions, but I would encourage you to reach out to the alumni that are out there, as I know that they want to help you. I know I help people from the schools that I graduated from, and most people want to help students like yourselves. 58 million. This is a true fact. I think it's probably more by now, but 58 million companies are recruiting on LinkedIn. I don't know any major company, even small nonprofits and organizations, that do not use LinkedIn to recruit. It's absolutely imperative that you get on there because, and this is a fact that I heard the other day. So in major organizations, and I know that we did this as well when I used to hire students like yourselves, what we usually do is, so if I met you at a career fair here at George Mason and you sent me your resume, which is fantastic, and we got it, and I was very impressed, and I look at your resume and I like your skills and everything, it's all check, 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 everything's aligning. The next thing I'm probably going to do is I'm going to look at LinkedIn, especially if you're one of my top candidates, and I'm going to see if you have a profile there. If you don't have a profile there, I'll probably question it a little bit and be like, okay, wow, he or she is not on here yet. If you're on there, you want to make sure that the information that you have on there is complementing and similar to what you have on your resume. The good thing about LinkedIn is you can put more on there than you can put on your resume, because we always encourage you to just have a one-page resume. So LinkedIn can be very, very powerful. And we'll take a moment to look at LinkedIn so you can kind of see how that looks if you're not already on there, or if you're even already on there. Before we do that, so before we go to USA Jobs, let's go on to LinkedIn now. I'm gonna go back here. So you should now see my LinkedIn. So I'll just show quickly here. This is when you're on LinkedIn, you'll have your profile. Let's go back. Let's go to my profile real quick. I still have work to do on my own profile, but you have who you are. It tells me a little bit about what skills you have or who you are. So for me, I'm an executive leadership coach, career advisor, HR consultant, curious learner, and organizational development professional. And then it shows a little bit of any activity that I've been placing, all my experiences and my jobs. And what I like about LinkedIn, again, is you can put more information than, I'm just doing that profile. You can put more information than you can on your resume. So I would never put all of this information on my resume, but I can put it on LinkedIn because it gives me more opportunities to share my background and my experiences. You obviously then can put your education, any licenses, any volunteering skills, and recommendations. But what's good here on LinkedIn is when I go in here and I type in George Mason University, Costello College of Business. If you're not already on this, I would encourage you to follow this page and then view the page. And as we go on here, this is the Costello College of Business. There is an alumni section here. And as you can see, there's 17,526 alumni that have gotten onto there. And it tells me where they work, where they live, and then what they do and what they're skilled at. So say, for instance, I am interested in Deloitte. So we're meeting with Deloitte today. Hopefully Megan can join us. But here is Deloitte. We have 226 alumni that are working at Deloitte. It tells me where they live. So if I was looking at a specific area where they live, but what they do. So maybe I am interested in, let's say, for example, consulting. I just want to do consulting. So I can look here and it gives me a list of a lot of different people at Deloitte that are either that are consultants or doing consulting type work. So here's an example of this person, Brene B. She's a senior consultant at Deloitte. If I click on her profile, She's actually connected with Phil, who works here at George Mason. I would probably maybe contact Phil first and say, hey, Phil, how well do you know Brene? And if you know Brene well, would you be able to introduce me to her? And if I have a good relationship with Philip, then he might say yes, hopefully, if he knows Brene well, and I can make a connection in that way. If I don't know anyone that knows her, and or I'm just looking at her for the first time, what you have in common with her is George Mason. So here she is. She's been at Deloitte for 5 years and 10 months. She attended George Mason back in 2016 to 2019 with a degree in marketing. So that's what you guys have in common is that you have that George Mason connection. So when we showed you those prompts earlier in the presentation, this is where I would message her and I would send her a quick note and say, hi, Brene, found you on George Mason's Costello College of Business LinkedIn page. Very impressed by your background. And I see you attended George Mason back in the late 2016, 2019 timeframe. I'd love to connect and get to learn more about your career. And hopefully when you do that, she will respond in time and you'll have an additional connection that will help you with that whole hidden job market and networking. So LinkedIn can be super, super powerful. And as most of you know, if not all of you, you can look at the jobs here too. So on LinkedIn, you can curate different jobs. You can have specific job searches that you want to look for. So if I just want to look at, let's say, marketing internship. Okay. So this had 99 plus results here in the Washington, D.C. metro area. I can look at the different things. This is an opportunity as a social media intern. I can click on it and I can see more about what the information is about the job and also end up applying for it if I wish to apply for it. So LinkedIn is incredibly powerful. You can curate your own specific job search. It even picks top job picks for you based on your previous searches. And then you could have things curated where it goes to your email directly, all these different opportunities. So if you're not on LinkedIn already, I would definitely get on it. We do have a headshot booth here at the Costello College of Business. So you can take a professional headshot for free as long as we're open and nobody's using it. You can definitely have access to it. So I definitely wanted to show you LinkedIn. Are there any questions on that? Hopefully that worked. Just want to see if anyone's coming here. Okay. All right. So now let's go here to USA Jobs. So anyone that's interested in the federal government, I know that right now the federal government is going through a lot of changes, a lot of different things, but there is still going to be a massive need in the future for top talent in government. This is a great site for you to look at TSSCI clear jobs if you need a secret clearance and so forth. So I would encourage you to go to usajobs.gov and it will give you a lot of different opportunities in the government. And we can work with you if you're interested in the government because a lot of times the resume for a government job is very different than for a public sector job. But definitely encourage you to go to that if you're interested in the government related opportunities. Let me see here. Let's go into this. So Interstride, for anyone who's an international student, Interstride is a great site that allows you to go in, and I don't know if I have that up. I don't think I have it up here, but it's a great community for international students to find different opportunities, but also to learn about navigating the job search process as an international student, because it can be a little bit tougher, but there are opportunities out there, and there are people that have went through your process, and Interstride is a great site for international students. Oops, let's see here. So we also do have an internship for credit program. So if you're looking at doing an internship based on your concentration, we have one, an accounting 492, marketing, MIS, finance, operations, and supply chain, and so forth. And then there's the BUSA students can apply for the MIS 303 or OCS SCM 303. And then for master's students, there's management 692, MSBA 692, and accounting 695. What you do have to do is you do have to secure an internship, and you have to get it approved, and you have to have your supervisor write down, what you're going to be learning from it and so forth, and then share it with our manager, Madison Height, over here, who would either approve you or not approve you or ask you for further information if you plan to apply for that internship. So it's a good way to get credit while gaining experience as well. Let's see here. So internship for credit, here it is. Before you apply, make sure you check for the requirements to participate, meet with your career advisor and academic advisor, and then you secure the internship. While you're in the application process, you want to apply early, meet with an experiential learning manager who is here at our office, and then get a course override or receive the credit for that, and then register for the course. Any questions on that here? So now with research and networking, so again, there's so many different ways, and you all probably know some of this, if not all of this already, but definitely utilizing social media and company websites. More and more companies now are on social media. They're on Instagram, they're on TikTok even, and so many different things. And you want to be able to go to those sites to be able to see the stories that they're sharing, what their company culture looks like, because you get to start to even see like photos. Are they do they do a lot of things in the community? Can you see yourself in their shoes as you see the types of employees that are working over there? So consider posting what you're looking for on various social media platforms, like using the LinkedIn. So even when I'm on here, I'm going to go back to LinkedIn real quick. I'm on LinkedIn. And so if you go to my profile here, I posted recently some stuff that I did with mental health and first aid, but there's also a lot of different posts that are out there that you can put on, and there's different companies. So I did work with the World Cup as well back in a couple of months ago, and I was doing some work with them, and I wanted people to know that, number one. But I also, whenever you see articles that someone wrote, or so say you saw this that I posted it, and you were interested in FIFA or the World Cup and everything, you could easily repost what I posted, and I would be able to see from my algorithm here on this site that you reposted it. And then I probably reach out to you if I knew you, or if I didn't know you, I'd reach out to you and wonder why you're reposting. But I'd also see that you're interested in the same things that I'm interested in. You're interested in my company if this was a post about my company. And then I'd be able to, when we do connect, or if you connected with me, we'd be able to have a conversation about that topic. So it's very important that you utilize all the different things throughout social media, and share that information, and then show your skills and your experiences as well. Other things to look at are the career services events. Definitely attending in-person events if you can, because it's always, not to say that these virtual events are not powerful, they're good, but the in-person events, you make a connection that unlike you would via the virtual platform. So definitely look at all those different events that I showed you on Handshake. There's the University Career Services. There's a just-in-time fair that's coming up on Monday, May 18th in Dewberry Hall. I definitely would encourage you to take a look at that, because it's another good way to network. And then definitely joining student organizations and clubs. There's a ton of them that's out there. Bill Gates, yes, would this recording be sent to us? You will not have the recording, but we will have to give you the presentation. And then we're going to probably put the recording up a little bit later as we look through the different workshops that we've had. Thanks for that question. So joining student clubs is a very great way to network and to find opportunities. I found my first job out of college through a student organization. One of the employers I'd been attending came in to speak to Society for Human Resource Management Club that I was in, and I networked at that time. He was not the hiring manager, but he shared opportunities that he had that day, and I applied for the job, and then he connected me with the individual that was the hiring manager. all from attending that one event. I'm not saying that always happens, but it's a great opportunity, again, to make the connections. And then obviously also your professors and your peers. You know, your professors have a lot of connections. Many of them know a lot of people in the different industries, and then your peers. You have peers, even like your neighbors in your neighborhood that you grew up with. You'll be surprised at some of the different professional things that people that you grew up with are doing today. People that are friends with your parents as well. Make connections with them. Talk to them about their career, especially if it's something of interest to you. Let's go here. So then here's our LinkedIn groups. These are different QR codes. I would encourage you to join them. The Costello Career Collective gives you more information on different careers. Then for the international students, there's a networking group that's here. And it's a great opportunity to connect with other similar folks. So these are two things. I'm going to, again, send you this presentation. So you will definitely have it. Okay, here's the just-in-time event. Does it include tech jobs? When I went through it on Handshake, I could not find any. IFA, I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I think I'm not as familiar with it myself as well, but I would encourage you to reach out to them if there's a contact over there and ask them that same question. But even if there isn't tech jobs, I still would encourage you to go. The reason why I say that is it's always good to practice your networking. And again, even if you're meeting with people that are not part of the tech jobs, so like myself, I worked for a tech company in the past. I did not hire directly the technical people because I was more focused on the business side of people, but I had colleagues who did that. So if I met you at one of these events and I saw you carried yourself well and you just had done some research on our organization and you spoke about it and you spoke very clearly and you came up to me and said, I'm really interested in the technical side, and I saw that your organization does a lot of XYZ type of work, and I see that you did that research. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put that in my head, and I'm probably going to go back to my office, and I'm going to contact the individual who's in charge of that area, and then I'm going to say, hey, I met this person, Aoife, at George Mason, and he or she is very, 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 very smart and very, very qualified. I'd love for you to connect with her if you have the moment. So you never know who you're going to meet and who can help you. So look at it from a broad perspective. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay. Here, as I mentioned, this is important. So if you have a LinkedIn profile and you don't have a headshot, 14% more likely to be viewed if you have a professional headshot. We do have a booth that looks like this, as I mentioned, here in our office. So anytime that we are open here in Enterprise Hall in 038, you can get free headshots. You can take as many photos as you want. So I'd encourage you to come here if you don't already have one. Even if you do already have a professional headshot, but you want a more updated one, you can come in and take those headshots. This is another great tool that we also have here at the Costello College of Business. It's Career AI. It's an opportunity where you can perfect your resume and use AI tools to make that resume stronger. You can also practice your self-introduction and master technical interviews and so forth. If you are interested in gaining access to this, I would take this QR code over here. And by filling out the information on that QR code, we'll be able to get you access, and or you can email us and we will get you access to it and we will show you how it works. Wow. Okay, so we got through this pretty quickly, and I apologize because I know Megan had a big meeting today, so I'm really hoping she can join us even briefly, but if not, we will hopefully have her at another time again. I hope you found this helpful. Please, is there any questions that you guys have? I'm happy to answer it. I have over 20 years of experience having hired students like yourselves. Okay, here's some questions. Great. Hold on. Samantha says, what kind of career opportunities or internships should I look for as a marketing and business administration degree. Okay, so Samantha, as a marketing major, there's a lot of different things that you could look for at. You can look into the advertising industry. You can look in public relations. You can look at corporate jobs that have rotational jobs in terms of like management rotation programs where you might touch a little bit of the marketing side. There's obviously also sales. A lot of people want to avoid that sometimes, but it's a good stepping stone to get into the marketing arena. One thing that I would encourage you to do, Samantha, is go into any type of AI platform and type in, help me locate uh, the best opportunities for current undergraduate students seeking opportunities in the marketing industry. And then it'll give you a bunch of different titles and opportunities. And that's where I would start my search and looking in that way. Hopefully that answers your question. And another question was, do you recommend verifying ourselves on LinkedIn? And yes, I do. It's a really simple verification. What that does is just verifies that it's really you. Because I know just like with any other what do you call it? Any other social media platform, anyone can type in something and put someone's name. I can even use your name right now and probably create a platform on there that maybe is not the right one or real one. That's why having a photo over there of yourself is good too, because it's you. But I would definitely encourage you to do that uh, for sure. Uh, recommend so IFA, yeah, I would definitely recommend doing that. And then what kind of career services can GMU offer to people in tech? So Miriam, for people in tech, so what we do here in career services is we, as it says over here, we, help you with your cover letter, your resumes, LinkedIn, handshake, interview skills, networking, all the job search strategies, any career guidance. So for tech, we can help you in just in terms of navigating the types of organizations. What type of work do you want to do within the tech side? Again, as long as you're a Costello College of Business student. If you are not a Costello College of Business student on this call, there is the main university career services, and they can help you with that as well. But we can definitely help you with that. I mean, I worked in technology for so many years. And what we could do is we can sit down, navigate with you, look at the strategy, kind of look at some of the key organizations you're looking for, types of opportunities that you might be interested in, and how can we market your skills and your brand, looking at your resumes and so forth. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you, Bill Gay. Appreciate that. Miriam, student alumni. Okay, so Yasmin, when setting up informational interviews, is it better to seek out people? Oh, here's Megan. Megan's joining. Thank goodness. Okay, she's coming. All right. So is it better to seek out people who work in different industries, positions, or hone in on a specific job, industry, company you are aiming for? That's a really good question, Yasmin. Uh, it's up to you, really. So if you are really honing in on a specific industry, like say I want to work for the hospitality industry, I am going to focus on that. I'm probably going to really be looking at those individuals. What I would encourage you to do really is more so than even just industry is really locate, five or so organizations that might be your dream organizations based on how they work, what their values might be, what they've done, and really, really look at those places and find your network and find the people that are in those industries to meet with and to work with. But there's no right or wrong answer in that. It's up to you and how you best think to use your time. But if you're still in the beginning stages of your search, I would keep it broad and really look at a lot of the different opportunities out there. But if you are already focused, it would be good to focus it and keep to that one industry because you'll see a lot of momentum moving and moving over there versus trying to go all over the map. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so if there, thank you. Any other questions here? Let's see. Okay, great, thanks, Yasmin. So I see Megan's trying to join. I hope she's not having technical difficulties here because I see she's trying to join. I really do hope she gets on because then she can answer some of your questions as well. was this helpful for you all? And do you have any other specific questions? Because I'm happy to answer any questions, and I definitely want to use the time. See if Megan got in. Great. Thank you, Hunter. I appreciate that. Great. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. But and again, like I said, here's Megan coming in again. Let me try to make her. She's definitely trying to get in here, and I don't know if she can get in. Did Megan just get in? Megan's not in. That's, I don't know why she's having problems. Um, should we? Okay, here's an information question from Samantha. Should we use AI to write our handshake LinkedIn bio? Um, okay, that's a great question, Samantha. Uh, yeah, I would use it, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't like copy and paste exactly what AI gives you. So as you write things and you put suggestions to AI, and then as they kind of maybe tailor it and fix it more, you want to make sure that whatever your bio is and whatever you end up writing really matches you. Megan, I see that you've joined. Can you hear me and see me? Sorry, Samantha.
Yes, I have you.
Oh, okay. Well, here we go. Yes, we have Megan. Um, so here, I'll let Megan answer Samantha's question. So Samantha, your question was, should we use AI to write our handshake LinkedIn bio?
I think it's a good place to start, but people will recognize pretty much right away if it's written by AI versus written by you. So give it a touch of your own personality. It's okay if it doesn't sound like extremely polished or perfect. People aren't looking for perfect. They're looking for who are you and what do you represent. And if all you're giving them is, a chat bot or an AI response, it's going to become very apparent and it's not going to set you apart from everybody else. So what you're trying to do is differentiate yourself from the rest of the people that are probably all using the same platform that you're using. So use it for what it's worth. Get some good vocabulary out of it, polish what you have, but also make sure that it's personalized to you because you're going to have to talk about yourself at some point. And if you don't identify with what you wrote, it's going to be offsetting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. So hopefully that answers your question, Samantha, and I 100% agree with what Megan just said. There was another really good question here from Rabia. Uh, do you have any tips for networking as an introvert?
Use the internet. Like I have leaned into LinkedIn a lot, and people want to connect with you, and you don't have to have Zoom calls or be in person. There are so many opportunities now to find your people online, and I'm sure you already know that. But find the recruiters, find the companies that you're interested in, follow them, learn a lot, and don't be afraid to reach out. Like the worst thing that could happen is somebody actually writes you back.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great point. So Megan, I'm going to give you 5 minutes here. And thank you
So
for joining us.
sorry, so
I know
sorry.
you're, no. I know you're super busy and we really appreciate it. We had a lot more folks on here earlier, so you were very, very popular, I'm sure. Um, but for those that have remained, please, if for those of you who are still on, if you have any specific questions for Megan, who has joined us, please ask those questions. Otherwise, I'm going to give her some time to talk about this subject. But so here's another question that just came in. Oh, there's some questions coming in here. So Yasmin said, outside of categories like professional experience, education, and skills, what are other things or categories recruiters are looking to see on resumes?
So not my cousin actually was a recruiter for Deloitte many years before I ever joined Deloitte. So she had a very good, interesting perspective of like, they don't want to see that you're just like one sided. Like, oh, I just do computer science and that's all I do. Not that you have to have a dual degree or speak another language, but that you're interested in broadening your horizons because they want you to grow with the company. And the company is going to shift in different directions constantly, right? We're seeing that across the board in consulting. Now AI is a thing, and you don't know what the next thing is going to be, but the ability to be versatile and flexible is something they're very interested in. So if you have something on your resume, like I started working in a daycare and then I went to college for this, but I also do this on the side and I volunteer. Those are really good skills that show that you're versatile and that you're not afraid of change.
Yeah, great. There's another question from Aoife that says, I am in data analytics and I want to do my concentration in business analytics. What would be some possible roles for me? What is some essential skills you would want for this role to have?
So data analytics, that is so profoundly important when you're starting out a career to be able to synthesize data and get through it quickly and help people verbalize it correctly, make it understandable, and also presentation wise, make sure that you can, I know it sounds silly, but use PowerPoint and put your data into something that is digestible to the executive level. The other generations ahead of you are not quite up to speed with what you know, and you're very good at what you do, but make it digestible to every audience, not just you, but people above you, people at your level, people below your level need to be able to understand what you're trying to tell them. So it's great that you have the ability to analyze the data, but how are you displaying it? How are you verbalizing it? Make sure you have those two things in your skill house so that you can present your best self to the people that you want to be on board with.
Yeah, and that's a great point that Megan makes because I think it's what some people sometimes call the soft skills, but I think it's more like the essential skills that are
Mm-hmm.
out there and to really make it easy for those executives to understand. So, with business analytics, when we used to hire them where I used to work, yeah, we were looking for the general technical skills of like, R, Python, Tableau, and all that kind of stuff. But it's a lot of those, again, essential skills on the back end of being able to present and how do you to synthesize that information, as Megan had said, that people often forget and that students do not project when they're interviewing for these opportunities. Yeah. One question that was here, and that I had shared two opportunities that Deloitte had that we received from your recruiter, Megan, when the session first started. But Samantha was asking, does Deloitte have any job opportunities for those interested in marketing or sales?
So that's an interesting question. You're always selling when you're a consultant. So there may not be a specific position that says we need you to sell, but if you want to succeed in consulting, you're always selling. You're selling yourself, you're selling the skills, you're selling the data, you're selling the platform, whatever it is, that is an essential skill to every consultant. And highlighting that on your resume is a really good idea. That you're not afraid to have those conversations with clients. You're not afraid to, hey, have you thought about XYZ in your market? Like being able to connect those dots for clients is so important. So, like, while you won't necessarily get a sales job, you will be expected to sell no matter what your role is, especially if you want to advance.
Yeah, great. Now this question is a good one. So Mark asks, "Hi Megan, I'm looking to switch from government to private sector. I see you've done this in your career, and wonder if you can share any strategies or pitfalls you've experienced."
So yes, going from I've done consulting to government back to consulting. It's good to have that understanding of both because you're kind of a unicorn in that sense that you have had experiences in both sectors and you can speak the language of both. So you understand what your clients want, but you also understand the goals of your current environment and what's required of you to succeed. But you're so good at helping the clients achieve their goals because you know the frustrations of what they're facing. And that's a really good thing to highlight of like, I have walked the walk and I can also talk the talk.
Yeah. And Miriam asks, "Does Deloitte have technical consultant positions that would hire a CS major?"
Yes. So I'm a specialist leader. So I don't have certain revenue goals. I have some, but because I'm a technical specialist, the track is a little bit different. And things are changing within Deloitte, but there's still always going to be a track where you can just be a technical specialist and be really, really good at what you do and what you know, whether it's a platform or it's a service or it's an offering or it's a skill set. And that has its own trajectory now, which is really nice. And they've always kind of had this kind of parallel to the selling. And honestly, in my opinion, these skills that the specialist leaders bring and the people on this track bring to the firm bring money in whether you want to or not. Like, because you're the experts, you're the one delivering the service.
Yeah. And so finally, I guess, well, this is a specific opportunity, but I guess we can make it even broader. So from your knowledge of uh, like, I guess, the market today and Deloitte, someone here mentioned that they're looking for a business analyst job that they had lost back in 2024. Uh, what are you seeing, and like what is Deloitte looking for today?
I mean, it's tough right now, like, especially at my level, there's a lot of us. We're all struggling with the whole environment of people pulling back and not hiring as many consultants. But there is such an opportunity with AI to harness it, to market it, to understand it, to help our clients understand how to use it. I would highly advise being very skilled in that field. Even as a business analyst, like, it's great, you know what you know, specialize in that, figure that out, and you will become so marketable. I'm seeing people being hired even when there's no ability to hire because we have specialized roles in that field right now where it's become so lucrative.
Yeah, no, great point. Sangeeta, hopefully that answered your question over there. Um, what it is called? I don't understand fully that question, but it says, what is it called in AI? If you're looking at it in AI, you would still look at it as a business analyst as well.
Just something to highlight on your resume. Like, I've been through this certificate, I've done this training, I've had this experience, I know how to harness, I know how to use it. Just another skill, right? It's like, oh, I know how to use PowerPoint, I know how to use Word. What have you used in the AI world that could help you help a client?
Yeah. So, as we're ending, Megan, and thank you for joining even in this brief time. I know you have a super, super busy schedule. And thank you for the students for joining. Is there anything uh, that you'd want to share from a high level, just for this last minute or so, on the job search and like what you would recommend, or what would you recommend to your own self if you were back into their shoes? Uh,
Yeah, it was real. I mean, when I was looking for a job, it was incredibly difficult for whatever reason. Every 20 something years, things change, right? Technology changes, people change, what industry needs change, what opportunities you have based on your experience in college changes. Be flexible. You know, you may not get the job that you think is for you, but get your foot in the door. Take what you can get. Hopefully, it aligns with your career. It may not always. I've taken some roles that I didn't want to take over time, but it, in the end, was a great pathway. So you can't see it when you're going through it, but in hindsight, it will sometimes make sense. But sometimes you have to take some risks and some chances in an industry like we're in right now.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that, and keep plugging away. So I see some of the things like, people telling us that, oh, I've applied for hundreds of jobs on
Of course.
LinkedIn or done all these different things. Definitely continue to be persistent. You just need that one person that ends up believing in you. And as we said earlier in this whole session, look at that hidden job market, network with people that are out there that can hopefully get you closer. They can't guarantee you that they'll get you the job, but they'll get you closer to where you can showcase your skills.
Yeah, it's tiring. It's exhausting. But in the end, like, it's worth it. I didn't know that I was going to get an internship from my stepmother's best friend, but that happened because, I used my network. And you just never know who's going to help you and be your advocate and then be kind of on your board for the rest of your life. So you're setting yourself up for success by putting yourself out there, as uncomfortable as it can be.
Yeah, I love how Megan just said board for the rest of your life because it's kind of like having your own personal board of advisors. And that's something that I think we both definitely encourage all of you to find because when you find that, that's golden and that's going to take you from your first job all the way all to today and even beyond. So I guess in closing, Megan, is there any other final thoughts before we close up for
I'm good.
today?
Feel free to LinkedIn me. I'm happy to be part of your network. If I can connect you with other people that are in your field, I'm happy to do so. I love giving back. I love George Mason, obviously,
Excellent.
and I wish you all the best of luck. I think you're going to go far.
Great, great. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, everybody, for participating. I will send you a copy of this presentation, and I will also link in, if Megan, if you don't mind, your LinkedIn on there so
Please
it's
do.
easy for them to find.
Amazing. Thank you, Jay. Thank you
Awesome.
all.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great one.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.